I like to party.
All right, what's up, guys? Got another vlog coming at you today. We got a whole lot of stuff going on. We got watches coming out of the wazoo. We got to figure a whole bunch of stuff out, and I might have just caught myself a fake AP. Uh-oh. I'll tell you, one of the biggest signs that there's a problem with a watch is if it doesn't have papers, if it's naked, quote unquote. Now, not all the time, but if a watch comes without papers, right, there's a higher chance of there being a problem. Sometimes they're stolen. Sometimes they're fake. You know, papers help authenticate. They're not the only thing that helps with authentication, but it helps. And statistically, whenever we get something in without papers, there's a higher probability that there's a problem. So let me walk you through this situation, okay? Let's take a look at this AP together. So I was very excited about getting this watch in. Okay, this is the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Jumbo Thin, 39 millimeter, very thin, very thin case, right? So for reference, here is a Royal Oak Offshore 44 millimeter. All right, look at that difference. Monster difference, like all of the millimeters difference, right? You know, this is probably about 15 millimeters thick. I don't know the exact millimeter on this, but 3, maybe 5. Probably should have looked at that before shooting the show so I can be accurate. But let's talk about this jumbo thin, okay? I was very excited about it. However, it is what it is. All right. I was authenticating it. Everything looked pretty good. You know, bracelet looked good. Dial looked good. Date wheel looked good. Double rotor movement looked good. So the seller sold this to me naked. He's a known dealer in the industry. I never did a deal with him. And he told me it was -2 links. He sold it as -2. Your screws are right here. 1, 2. You don't count this because it's the clasp. 1, 2. Let's go to the other side. 1, 2, and clasp. So I called AP and I said, what's the link count on a 16202? And they said, this is the link count. So they told me the link count. This watch was in fact -3, not -2. So the seller misrepresented it. So not a big deal. I reached out to the seller and I said, hey man, the watch is actually -3, not -2. He actually admitted that he knew that and was going to tell me eventually. Keep in mind, I hadn't paid him yet for the watch, and this is approximately a $70,000 watch. So I said, hey man, what do you want to do about it? You know, you kind of just ask the dealer, like in dealer to dealer, you just ask the dealer, like, what do you want to do? And he said, why don't I credit you $500? I said, sure, no problem. So the same day I got back on the phone with Audemars Piguet. And I ordered these. They are Audemars Piguet links for the 16202, right? The watch that we have in front of us. So what did I do? 2 weeks later, when these got here, which took 2 weeks, I opened this bad boy up to put the link into the watch, like any normal person would do. However, the problem that came about was the links do not sit flush. Look at that. You could see how the link grooves don't sit flush. Look at the difference there. Look at the gap there. Off by, I don't know, a millimeter or two. So I said, that's a little weird. Okay, it doesn't sit flush. I said, that's a little weird. So I called AP back and I said, hey, we got a problem. You didn't send me out the right links. And they said, no, sir, we did. We sent you out the links that match the serial number to your watch. I said, oh, that's odd. The links don't fit. And they said, well, sir, you have a problem. You have either a aftermarket bracelet or you have the old bracelet on the new reference number. I said, huh, interesting. So it all started to kind of make sense because the watch was misrepresented and it's naked, which typically means there's a problem. And sure enough, there was a problem. So I messaged the dealer and I said, hey, this is the situation. I called AP, I ordered those links. AP said they sent out the correct links. Once we got the links in, they don't fit. AP says it's either an aftermarket bracelet or it's the wrong bracelet. And he said, no problem. Why don't you send it back to me? I'll refund your money in full, which is a good move on his part. It's a classy move. It's a good move. You know, it's a $70,000 mistake or $60,000 mistake, depending on who you talk to. Or was it a mistake? I don't know. I'm not sure. What I will tell you is, though, even people that are good at authenticating stuff, this game is so deep with bracelets and serials and variations and models and generations. Even good people, it will slip by. And, you know, I don't claim to be the best, but, you know, I'm pretty seasoned on authenticating and stuff, and this bracelet slipped by me, but I wouldn't have known unless I ordered the links. So I guess the lesson here is naked watches typically create problems. And I don't know if I would say typically, but there's a higher probability of there being a problem with the watch if it doesn't have paperwork, statistically speaking. So be careful. So I'm going to be sending this watch back. I'm going to be sending the links back. I'm going to be getting refunded. And yeah, I guess that's that. You know, you can't be too careful in this industry. And This is also why I recommend working with someone you trust, whether that's us or your dealer. Trust is worth its weight in freaking eggs these days. Gold, right? And when you work with a dealer you trust, you work with someone that you trust to get you the right, to write everything, to inspect everything, to be thorough, to go through everything. And it minimizes your liabilities. This applies to me too. I typically only do business with people I trust. Business to business. So this was a really good learning experience for us, working with this individual, and we have to make the decision if we'll ever work with them again. I think I'll give them the benefit of the doubt on it, but now my Scooby sense has been thrown. So trust, naked watches cause problems. Let me know if you guys learned anything here. Let me know if you liked this. Let me know if this was helpful, because this one almost snuck by me. 70 grand. $70,000 mistake in my industry. You make one of those, you make two of those, you make three of those mistakes, you might be out of business. So, if you guys got any questions, let me know in the comments below. If you like this, let me know in the comments below. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.